Hello, my name is Marie Lara Ramos. This is the counseling video presentation for the Theories of Counseling course. I'm here with my partner, Mallory Thompson. For this video, I will be playing the role of the therapist, and Mallory will be playing the role of my client, Anna. So this is Anna Smith. Anna reached out to me for counseling to help her with stress management at home. Anna is a full-time second grade teacher. She has two children of her own, and Anna's mother occasionally helps Anna with the kids. So Anna is coming into therapy with feelings of exhaustion, possible burnout, and overall she's feeling unmotivated. As her therapist, I will be using an approach based on family systems theory. And the counseling plan includes bringing in her children and mom during future therapy sessions, forming a relationship, assessment, enactments, genogram, family sculpting, followed by hypothesis and sharing meaning. And goals for our counseling sessions are decreased family conflict, increased family connections, improving stress management, regaining a sense of purpose and joy for Anna, and recapturing a sense of spiritual well-being. Okay. So hi, Anna. Welcome back. Last time we met, you were teaching summer school during the summer to help make ends meet. You were also parenting your kids who were home from the summer and managing everything there at home. And now school is back in session, has started again. And so I wanted to check in with you and see how you're doing. How are you feeling today?
Honestly, I am exhausted. I spend all day teaching and then I come home to my kids and they're bouncing off the walls. I just feel like I don't have anything left to give. I just want to lay down, turn the lights off, go to bed, and listen to rain sounds.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense. It sounds like you're just giving so much of yourself at work and at home. And so your energy tank is just running on empty. And at the same time, I can also hear how much you love your children, how much you care for them, and how much you want to be fully present with them.
I do. I really do. But instead of being present and being with them, I just sit, sulk, and feel guilty. I'm so tired that I sleep in on Sundays, and then when I finally get up, I run errands. I look at the time, I've missed church. I couldn't even watch it on TV. I feel like I miss connecting with God, and I just feel like I'm failing spiritually and as a mom.
Well, thank you so much, Anna, for being honest about your feelings and sharing those openly with me. Is it okay with you if we stop and reframe some of these things that you're sharing with me?
Of course.
So, what if instead of seeing this exhaustion as a failure, we saw it as your body and your spirit signaling to you that you need care? Resting is not a weakness, it's wisdom. And it's God's way of telling you that He built you with limits.
I've never thought about it that way. I'm usually just conflicted because I feel like I'm not doing enough, but then my body is like, it just needs to lay down.
I hear you. And in family systems theory, we say that when one part of the system is depleted, the whole family can feel it. It affects everyone. When you care for yourself, even if it's in small ways, you strengthen the whole system. So all of your family is strengthened. And you model balance for your children. That's not selfish, that's leadership. So, whenever we think about how God created you with limits, when we reframe it that way, there's a spiritual discipline that you may also recognize or remember as a commandment. And I realize that you have so much on your plate. You are a working mom, you're a teacher leading a bunch of young second graders, and you try to come home and do the best that you can for your own children. Yet, whenever we remember how God created the earth, He also took a day to rest.
Right.
So, practicing the Sabbath or practicing a day of rest may feel like a goal that is super out of reach for you right now with everything that you have going on. But what if we could reframe those moments, those signals of exhaustion, to signal maybe needing just a Sabbath moment?
Hmm. A Sabbath moment? Like, I would take a moment instead of the whole Sabbath day. I've never thought about it like that. A moment of exhaustion could be signaling to me to take a moment with God, though.
Yes, exactly. So even though taking a whole day of rest might feel like something that is just not possible for you right now because you on Sundays you had mentioned last time that you go to the grocery store. Those are the days where you kind of do laundry, you pack some lunches. Um, you could take a moment to look at that signal of exhaustion as, hey, let me connect with God. So as we work towards managing your stress, we can reframe that signal of exhaustion to spur a moment of connection with God. What do you think about that? What might that look like for you?
Well, maybe on the drive home, I could listen to my favorite praise and worship songs. I could really use that time to decompress, connect with God, surrender my burdens from the day, just to Him, just a moment between me and Him on the way home. I could ask Him to help me find my rest in Him and to help me prepare my heart to deal with my kids, to want to deal with my kids. And after a long day of work, my patience is just really worn thin. So I think that will be something that I could try and something that could work.
Wow, that's a wonderful idea, Anna. Using your commute from your long day at work to decompress and connect with God before you get home. Hey, that might even help you deal with all of that stress in the traffic. And instead of worrying about other people driving like maniacs, using that time to focus on God and connect with Him. And I hear you talking about how you're stressed when you think about your kids' behavior and coming home and not knowing what you're going to be dealing with whenever you walk through that door. So let's talk about that.
Okay, that helps me see it differently. But my kids' behavior, it's overwhelming. I walk through the door and it's like I don't get a break. It's mom, I need this, mom, I need that, mom, I can't find this, mom, I can't find that. And these are things that I also already set out. So I just really never get that moment. And when I can't assist in the moment or when I like need to take that time to kind of think so I can help them, they just they explode. They get really frustrated and they start acting out for attention, even though the attention is on them. And then it just makes me shut down because I have nothing to say. I don't know what to say.
I totally hear you. So you walk home, you walk through that door, and you see them just acting out. And if it's okay with you, we can also look at their behavior and maybe try to reframe that in a different light. So, what if we don't see that as acting out, but as a way of them telling you or communicating stress to you? So, we could reframe that behavior not as defiance, but as a signal. So, maybe they're trying to say, Mom, we need connection with you.
Hmm. So instead of them trying to drive me crazy, it's really them asking for me, but in their own way.
Exactly. Yes. So whenever we see behavior as communication, it opens the door for us to respond differently. That's one of our goals, helping you and your kids feel more connected and not at odds.
That actually makes me feel lighter.
Awesome. So good. Now that we've talked about reframing and used some of reframing strategies to think about your rest, to think about your exhaustion, and also your kids' behavior, I'd like to also jump into a different technique with you called circular questioning. It helps us to look at family patterns from different perspectives. So let's start simple. Whenever your children are acting out after school, how do you usually respond?
I usually yell at them, or if I'm totally decompressed, I tell them to go to their rooms because I don't have the energy for anything else. I just need them to go.
Yeah, you're tired. So whenever you yell at them, how do they respond?
Mm. They either yell back or they shut down and then they stomp off to their rooms.
And whenever they go off to their rooms, how does that leave you feeling?
I'm guilty. I feel guilty. And then I'm like sad because I know that I pushed them away instead of helping them. Because if I wasn't overwhelmed, I feel like for me, this could be like an easy fix or that's something I could handle. So it's mixed emotions.
That's very insightful. Now let's imagine this. If I asked your children, what does mom look like when she's really tired? What do you think they would say?
They probably say I'm cranky or that I don't want to play.
And if I asked your mom, who helps you sometimes with the kids, what do you think that she would say?
She'd probably say, Anna needs a break because she notices when I'm worn out.
So, from their perspective, they see you as stretched thin. Now, another question. If I asked your children, how does your behavior affect your mom? What might they say?
They might say they make me stressed or that they're too much.
So they see you, they see that exhaustion, they see their behavior and that impact on them. So if they believed that they made you stressed or that they're too much, how might that shape the way they see themselves in your family?
Maybe they'd feel like a burden, and that breaks my heart.
That's powerful awareness, Anna. But let's flip it. If I ask them instead, what makes mom the happiest? What do you think they would say?
They'd probably say when we watch movies together or when we pray at night, because that's when I'm not too tired.
That's beautiful. If your children believed we make mom happy when we connect instead of we stress mom out, how would that change things in your house?
That would change everything. They know that I love being with them.
Exactly. So, using this technique of circular questioning shows us how shifting one belief can change the whole system. Instead of the story being we're too much, it becomes we bring mom joy. So, we talked about your spiritual side already also when and talked about you connecting with God a little bit after you said you felt distant from God. So, and we also we did the reframing, we did circular questioning to help shift the system. So, if we could set two small goals, first for when your children act out, to pause and remind yourself this is their way of asking for connection. Second, we also talked about spiritual goals. So, taking a moment to connect with God. And you mentioned your commute. So, on your way, on your drive home. And then maybe also you talked about doing a prayer at night before going to bed. So, we talked about these small goals that we could use to help you to work on your stress management at home. What do you think about those small goals?
That feels manageable. I think I could handle that. I think I could try to handle that for sure.
Well, that's awesome, Anna. That's wonderful. Remember, change doesn't happen by fixing everything all at once. It happens when one piece of the system shifts. And by reframing your exhaustion and using connection moments, connection with God, connection with your kids, you're already helping your family to find new patterns. So, those were some of our goals for today, and we'll continue to explore these patterns in our future sessions. And hopefully, next time we can bring in your children, bring in your mom, and work on other techniques like genograms, enactments. But I look forward to working with you and helping you and your family together.
Thank you. I feel lighter already. I feel like there's hope at the end of the tunnel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna.
Hello, my name is Mallory Thompson, and today I will be in session with my client Abigail Smith, who I will also refer to as Abby. She is a 9-year-old girl from Dallas, Texas, and she's in the fourth grade. She enjoys drawing, playing with dolls, watching cartoons, and riding her bike. She was referred to me by her from counseling for her school counselor due to some behavioral outbursts, some defiance, and aggressive behavior towards her teacher and peers. Her parents did recently divorce, so she's having some difficulty adjusting to the separate households and having some limited time with her father, who has now moved out of state. Abby's mother mentioned that she doesn't have or doesn't really express spirituality, but they occasionally attend church. So we won't be talking about her integrating her Christian values in our sessions. So she does present some issues of ODD, oppositional defiance disorder, with her tantrums, blaming others for her mistakes, refusal to follow instructions, and angry outbursts when she does separate from mom. Usually these are things because she's told no, transitioning between homes, or really when she's feeling ignored or unseen in the classroom. For this session, I will be using Aldarian therapy, which is going to focus on understanding her desire for connection and belonging. I'll be incorporating play-based techniques like drawing and role play to help her express her emotions that she probably didn't have the words for initially. And then during the session, I'll also do two different counseling techniques. I'll be doing mutual storytelling, where Abby will create a story using dolls to explore her feelings and problem-solving strategies. And I'll also be using iMessage technique, where it'll teach Abby to express her emotions in a clear, non-blaming way that helps other people understand her perspective. This session will represent a continuation of therapy. She's already had previous sessions, including one where we drew bunnies to explore emotions. Today, we will build on that by using the dolls for role playing and storytelling, and I will introduce the iMessage technique as a new tool for emotional expression. Hi, Abby. It's so good to see you again. How have things been since our last session?
Well, they've been okay, I guess. Um, School has been kind of frustrating at times.
Hmm. Yeah, I get that. I hear you. Last time, we drew bunnies and we practiced talking about our feelings through our drawings. Today, I thought we could try something a little different. How about we use dolls to act out situations and talk about our feelings? How does that sound?
Ooh, I like that idea.
Great. Okay. So here are some dolls. You can pick one for yourself and one for me. And then we'll use them to act out situations that happen at school or at home.
Okay. I like that one, the red and blue one.
Okay, here you go.
You,
Perfect.
you can be
So
that,
then,
but
okay,
wait,
so then
wait, let me see. I want this one right here.
you want that one? Perfect. Okay. Ooh, I see. I like it. I see that y'all are matching. Okay, so I'm gonna choose this one. And
Okay,
we can pretend that our dolls are in school today
yeah,
and they're facing some of the challenges that you told me about before.
okay.
So, Abby, do you remember how we made up stories with our bunny drawings the last time?
Yeah, Bella.
Yes, right. So, today we'll do the same thing, but with your doll. I want you to tell me a story about a day at school, but make sure it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You can include other characters or people, and the dolls can talk and share feelings or solve problems. I'm going to be taking notes while you tell it, and then I'm going to retell it with a little twist. Are you ready?
Okay. Well, once upon a time, my doll was at school and she wanted to play with her friends. But the teacher said it was time for math.
Hmm. How did she feel inside?
Mad. She was stomping and yelling. Oh,
Oh, that's a big feeling. I felt that. What happened next?
she blamed the kid for distracting her, even though it really wasn't their fault.
Oh, that's interesting. Sometimes when we feel upset, we might blame others. What did she do after that?
Well, the teacher told her to take a deep breath and try again, but she didn't want to follow instructions. She felt like her teacher didn't understand her feelings.
Mm. So then how did she handle it eventually?
Hmm. She remembered her mom sometimes helped her calm down, so she imagined her mom telling her that it was okay to be upset. She took a deep breath and started her math again.
That's great problem solving. Did she face any more challenges that day?
Um, yeah, at recess, she had to play a new game with kids that she didn't know. So
Ooh.
she got mad again because she didn't want to leave her friends and she felt like no one cared.
And then what did she do?
She told the kids how she felt and she asked if she could play with them later. And they said yes. So she felt happy.
Wow, Abby, that was such a great story about your doll at school. I love all the feelings that you shared and the way your doll solved problems. Now, I'm going to retell your story with a little twist just to see another way the story could go. Once upon a time, there was a little doll who went to school in a bright, cheerful classroom. She loved learning and playing with her friends, but sometimes things didn't go the way that she wanted. One day, it was time to switch from playing to doing math, and the doll felt really mad. Like she wanted to stomp and yell. At first, she blamed another kid for distracting her, even though it wasn't their fault. But then she remembered something really important, that she could use her words to share her feelings instead of acting out. She took a deep breath and imagined her mom saying that it was okay to feel upset. With that, she calmed down and she tried math again. Later at recess, she had to play a new game with kids she didn't know. She felt ignored, frustrated, but instead of lashing out, she explained her feelings and asked if she could join the game later. The other kids said yes, and she felt happy and proud. So, Abby, what do you think the lesson of this story is?
Hmm. Sharing how you feel helps everyone understand you.
Exactly. That's one of the things we practice in our sessions. Expressing feelings, being understood, and solving problems without getting upset. You did an amazing job telling your story and thinking about how your doll handles big feelings. So, you just did a great job with storytelling. Now, I want to teach you a new way to share your feelings, and it's called an iMessage.
Okay, an iMessage. What's that?
So, it's a way to tell someone how you feel without blaming them. The structure is I feel, and you'll add an emotion when something happens, and because why it matters to you. And then if you feel like you want to add a little cherry on top, you say, I want, and then you tell me what you want. So let's try it with your bunny Bella from your drawing. Last time, she got mad when she had to stop coloring. Using the iMessage, she could have said, I feel mad when you tell me no because I want to keep playing and I want you to let me finish playing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you want to try making an iMessage for your bunny?
Okay. Hmm. I feel mad when um when she's being mean.
That's a start. Remember, we focus on what's happened and how it made her feel, not just labeling someone as mean, okay? So let's
Hmm,
try again.
okay. I feel mad when someone says no because I want to play more.
That's much better. That's much better. Can you add what the bunny would like to happen next?
Yes. Um, and I want them to let me finish my turn.
Perfect. You just made a full iMessage. Now, let's try one for you. Can you think of a time at home or at school when you got really mad?
Mm, well, whenever my mom tells me to stop watching cartoons,
Mm, great. Okay. What could your iMessage sound like?
I feel like stomping when mom turns off the TV because I want to watch.
I see. You said, I feel like stomping. But remember, we want to name the feeling, not the behavior. How are you feeling?
Mad.
Perfect. So let's try again using mad.
Okay. I feel mad when mom turns off the TV because I want to keep watching and I want to finish my show.
Excellent, Abby. Give yourself a round of applause. Round of applause. Good job. That tells your mom exactly how you feel and what you'd like, but guess what? You did it without yelling or blaming. And that's a really, really big step, Abby. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
Well,
you.
well, you did such a great job today. I'm proud of how you practice your storytelling and your new iMessages.
Thank you so much.
Remember, though, these skills aren't just for our stories, they're for home, school, or wherever else you need to share your feelings, okay?
Okay. My mom says I'm a smart cookie, so I think I can do it.
Can do it. Just like in your story, when you share your feelings clearly, people can understand you better and then problems get solved. So if Abby says how she feels without yelling or blaming, then Abby is more likely to get what she needs. Okay?
Okay,
So,
I like that.
yeah, I think you like it too. So before we finish, let's take one more look at your bunny picture from last time, okay?
Okay.
What do you like the best about it?
Well, I think that I'm so good at drawing,
Yeah.
but I really like that the bunny looks so happy in the end.
Me too. And that's exactly how I want you to feel. Like you've learned something new and you can handle all of your big feelings in a very positive way. So, next session, we're going to keep practicing these skills. And then maybe you can tell me another story, or we can try more life real situations with the dolls. How does that sound?
Yes, I liked playing with the dolls. I want to do that again.
Yes, great. Well, I thank you for sharing your story with me today and practicing your iMessage skills. You did amazing work, okay? I'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course. Bye, hon.
I'll see you next time.
Bye.